You've just started golf, you don't know what clubs to use, when to use them. Here are 5 of the clubs you need to have with you when you're on the golf course. You're probably wondering, don't we need 14 clubs, or isn't that what we have in a bag? Yes, you're allowed 14 clubs, but a lot of you are brand new to the game and you don't know where to start. You've been invited to a charity golf day, you've been invited by your boss or by a client, or you're just gonna go play with friends and you're panicking. Now you're binging a lot of YouTube videos, mine included, and you are trying to figure out what are the 5 that I can just stick with throughout the round and not look like I don't know what I'm doing. So here are the 5. Always making sure putter. You have to have a putter because we have 18 holes and you're probably going to use this guy more than 2 to 3 times a hole. So this would be the main club you would probably want to make sure it's the one that goes on the grass and the one you're trying to get towards the hole. So the first club you have to have is your putter. The next one that I would say you should have to have is your 7-iron. Why 7-iron? You need to have a 7-iron because it is probably going to be a lot of your best friends if you've just started off golf and you're going to the driving range, you're practicing. The 7-iron club is great because if you try to do a full swing with it, the club can go over 100 yards if you're brand new to the game. My 7-iron goes between 130 to 135 yards, but that's my yardage. If you're just starting, you're trying to achieve the 100-yard mark with your 7-iron. The great news is, if you're off a little bit into the fringe, so which we would say would be out here, and you need to get the ball close to the hole, you can still use your 7-iron. Whoa. Close, but no cigar. You can still use your 7-iron on the fringe. So I highly, highly recommend your 7-iron. The other club that I would have is my driver. So if you only could have 3, putter, 7-iron, and a driver, or what we would be a wood. If you have a 3-wood, that works as well. Why the driver? Because that's the one you're probably going to want to show off or pretend like you know what you're doing with, and you'll want to look nice and strong and nice and big. I've done a whole series on drivers in the link below. Make sure you go watch that right after so you know how to hit a driver. But you're going to want to come onto a tee box and look real strong and crush it, or at least try to crush it. At least try to have the ball go somewhere on the fairway. So if you don't have the big head driver, then my next suggestion to you would be a 3-wood. But either one of these 2 clubs will sort you out. So those would be the top 3: putter, 7-iron, driver. Now let's talk about the in-between clubs that you should have. So the one below the driver that I would encourage you to have would be what we call a hybrid. So a hybrid is in between your 7-iron and in between your driver. You have a club right in the middle, which we call a hybrid, which will get you out of a lot of like troubled spots and will help get your ball far. So you would want a hybrid, which I've just dropped on the floor. And then the last and final club, your 5th club, which is what we call a wedge. So that would be in between your 7-iron and your putter. You would want to have a wedge. What does a wedge do? The wedge takes the ball and makes it go nice and high, but doesn't give you tons of distance. So for example, you're in the bunker, you're in the sand, and you're trying to get out, you would want your sand wedge. So I would recommend you having your sand wedge in your bag with you, or if you're trying to go over a lake or any kind of obstacle. Right now, I see tons of palm trees. Let's say that my ball was behind this cluster of palm trees and I needed to get my ball up and over the palm trees, up and over that bush in front of me. I need my ball to go nice and high over a body of water or any kind of trouble. I would use my sand wedge. That will get me out of a lot of trouble and it'll give me lots of height and very little roll. So I will show you what that looks like with a golf ball. Pretend this flag are those palm trees and I need to go over those palm trees. So with the sand wedge, I would hit and it would go over the palm trees and give me very, very little roll. So watch again. I hit my sand wedge or out of a bunker or out of the lake, and it goes over whatever object I want and gives me very little roll. So your sand wedge would be a short distance. So if your 7-iron goes 100 yards, your sand wedge will probably go between 30 yards to 50 yards. But that is something you have to test out for yourself. 5 club recap: putter, 7-iron, driver, or 3-wood, must have. In between clubs to get you out of trouble: a hybrid to get you distance and get you the length, and then a sand wedge to get you height and also to get you out of trouble. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you haven't watched what my 14 clubs in my bag mean, also in the link below, but also right over here, click it. This will help you understand what a whole golf bag looks and feels like and what all the clubs in there mean. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click the like and the subscribe button if this video helped you. And I just want to tell you, if you're coming to Cancun like I did, I just showed up to this golf course. The way you book or make reservations in Cancun is what I'm told is through your hotel concierge, which I was unaware of, and or send an email to whomever, whatever golf course you want to go to, send them a direct email saying, hey, I would like to come and book with a group of 4 or by myself, a tee time, what do you have available? And they will give you pricing. Some of the websites don't have pricing. They want you to directly contact them to give you pricing. If you go through your hotel, they say that some of them have really good deals because they give them like a discounted rate. So maybe try both, but that's what I was told. I just wanted to give you that heads up. Let me know your favorite golf course in Cancun in the comments below. See you next time. Let's get started with the first one that a lot of you will probably know, even if you don't know golf, because you've done putt-putt or mini golf or whatever. This is called the putter. This is the club that you would use when you are on the green. What is the green? The really, really, really fine grass. On here, this is the green. So you use your putter. When the ball stops moving, you use your putter and you try and get the ball in the hole. That is what your putter is for. Okay, you can also use the putter in what we call the fringe, which is this little patch of grass that's not as thin as the green grass, but it's a little bit bigger. Okay, so that's where you use your putter. You know that, you'll be fine. You'll watch other people do it. Okay, the part where you get intimidated or scared by is all of these clubs in the middle. You'll see a bunch of numbers, you'll see some letters, you'll see a random degree, and that is where the panic starts.